Hello again, and welcome to Winning with the Wrangler at Dick Powell's Leadership Corner, brought to you by Earth, Wind, Fire, Water Training and Development, where our passion is building leaders of today and tomorrow. Leaders, the information on today's program was gathered from many different places and many different people. If you hear yourself in our conversation today, please remember, it is not all about you. Now, today we have Miss Robin with us. Robin, how are you doing today?
I am terrific.
I understand that you have a topic today that I think is really relevant in today's leadership world.
Probably, yeah. It's an interesting word.
The word is integrity. And Robin and I really spent some time looking it up and trying to find the best way to describe it. And this is
the best definition.
It really is the best definition. And this is what it says. Integrity is the quality of being honest and having a strong moral principle or moral rightness. It is an everyday, a personal choice to help oneself to be consistent in their moral and ethical standards. Now, let's break that down just a little bit because we need to look at some things.
First of all, let's go start at the back end of that where you said be consistent.
Well,
and that I think, and this reading of it came up as being the most important part.
It really is.
Be consistent and be true to yourself.
And that's the whole thing about, first of all, integrity happens daily, not in a day.
Right. Over time.
It happens in a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
And this thing of having integrity, or someone saying, well, that Dick Powell, he has integrity, that really means that they can trust me, that they've seen over time that I've acted in a consistent manner,
right,
that I actually lived up to my morals and standards that I hold for myself.
And those are good morals and standards, by the way. I thought I should add that. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
They're good and they're real, and they'll withstand time.
But I think the thing is that I wanted to talk to leadership about is that this is not only something that we held on for ourselves, but I believe it's how we kind of pass it on to those around us.
Well, I think it also means that's what we expect of our leaders, that they have integrity also.
Well, the expectation, again, can only happen from building relationship and taking time with it.
And experience, yeah, that's true. And look at the where we live right now, they've just kind of arrested a few political leaders that were in offices, and it's kind of made me wonder how they got there, because they never had integrity, but they still got elected into a position, and that kind of I think it shakes
my moral foundation. It really shakes how I made a decision, and now I'm finding out that decision was really corrupted.
Yeah, because the guy was corrupt.
Yeah.
But I mean, and it's coming up.
I can see you better now.
It's coming up as other cities in our area are getting to the point where they need to elect mayors and things like that. And the people that we're seeing running have negative political ads against them already. And this race isn't going to be. I don't know when the election is.
It's a year away.
It's a year away. And there's a whole list. I think there's like a dozen running for this one mayor position, and the two that are at the top of the heap are really not nice people, and they're attacking each other right and left. And there's like, where's your integrity that you would attack someone like that because they don't have any? So where does that put you?
I'm going to really take us to a place where I believe that we as leaders need to think about, and we need to put into our thought process. There was a thing about being physically fit. Anybody knows I was in scouting for forever. And this thing about fitness, and then I started reading another book, and it really started talking about fitness in a 4-section. And they split it up into emotional fitness, mental fitness, physical fitness, and moral fitness. And when at the end of this whole piece that was written, it stated to the fact that they were very similar in most of things, that they required you to eat a good balanced meal and to get plenty of rest and to be committed to your morals and standards. So let's look at that just a little bit deeper. Now, emotional fitness You know,
that's the first time I've ever heard that.
well,
But then again, it's me.
well, think about it. We all go through some kind of emotional ups and downs all the
Right.
time.
I think it means if you're emotionally fit, is that you deal with them appropriately.
Well, that, and in order to be emotionally fit, you need to do a couple things for yourself. And that is one, to have good quality self-talk.
Okay.
And that really comes into effect all the time. Because, well, let's just face it, many times when we're alone and we're thinking, and there's no one there to bounce ideas off us, that little person in your head sometimes just doesn't say very positive things.
Do we call that the conscious or the subconscious?
Id, whatever you want to call it.
Ego, id.
Okay. It doesn't matter. I call it a little man in my head. And that little person, they come out with all those negative things. Why I couldn't, shouldn't, don't, all those things. And that emotional piece, then I take and pull out something and I read something positive, or I take and go and do some positive input, or I go hang around some positive people. But that emotional piece is so important.
Right. And sometimes I think you just need to say, wait a minute, I'm going to a place I don't want to go mentally. Yeah. I'm not that person anymore. I've grown and matured beyond that. Mm-hmm. So let's go have a good day.
And, because I work with so many different people from different walks of life and different backgrounds, I see this all the time now. This thing of emotionally, they become disheartened, disenchanted. And it's really because something has happened. And it could have happened many, many years ago in their youth or sometime in their adult life, that it just kind of stuck there and they weren't able to get over it. If you have that situation, you need to seek out some help. And so we're encouraging people to keep your emotional fitness healthy by doing that. Whether it's a coach or someone, a good friend, or counseling, wherever it is.
Pastor.
If you find yourself in that dark place and you're not able to reach out of it, get some help.
And learn to recognize sooner rather than later when you're in that place.
Right. And that's
whether it's something you do when you go to bed, I'd say, well, how am I today? Or something you say in the morning, oh, it's a new day.
Yeah.
Yesterday's history, deal with it, move on, and let's start a better day today.
It took me many years to get to that point, by the way. Don't think it just happens overnight.
And it took some guidance and
reading
some books and going, wow, I don't have to, there's some of the things I didn't learn in school.
Right. So, and it kind of melds over into the mental situation. Okay. You see, our mental facility, our mind really doesn't know or understand whether we're putting positive or negative. It just knows it's input. And like your computer, garbage in, garbage out, our minds work fairly similar to the same. Mm-hmm. And so when we do this, we need to constantly put in positive things or positive goals or realistic things that are happening.
I think that's a key word there, realistic.
Well, yeah, I still want to be an astronaut, but I'm not so sure at 65 they're going to let me.
I think physically you couldn't pass me. Just saying.
Thanks a lot.
I'm just warning.
No, but see,
I don't want you to be disappointed.
That's the realistic piece of it.
That's realistic, yeah.
And that the realistic pieces are what keeps our mental fitness going. Now, also our mental fitness, Miss Robin, she works on her mental fitness all the time by doing these word games and structured activities that really, she says, helps her brain. And I've worked with other people that really I know that it works.
Yeah.
So,
well, we just heard about a person that we don't really know very well, but we heard about a woman who retired, and literally within 6 months she is brain dead. Yeah. I mean, she has some high fast acting level of Alzheimer's or dementia or whatever. She doesn't know who she is, where she is, or what year it is, and that all happened within 6 months. So I am a little proactive, and I do puzzles. Dick reads the paper, I do the puzzles, and I do on my iPad, my tablet, whatever. And I do mental games on there too because I find them interesting and stimulating. So find something mental to do.
Another thing I've from talking to some other people in my profession, we suggest that to have great mental fitness, try keeping a journal.
Yeah.
One of the best things I know that when I finally go to the maker, they're going to burn all my journals, I'm sure. And
only because we can't read your writing.
And that's okay.
That's okay.
Because they're not for anyone other than you.
Mm-hmm.
But what I have found is when I'm in my deepest or I'm having a problem, if I write it out, sometimes I can think it out. And that keeps my emotional as well as my mental fitness up to snuff.
Okay.
What do you think?
And I think probably journaling is a good idea. It's something I keep thinking I should do. I'm approaching this from a different direction. Mm-hmm. So more like when I do evaluations for projects or meetings or whatever, I am being more in depth about my what I want to remember going forward about that, which is a form of journaling.
It really is.
Because in a year, next time I have to do some program, I can go back and check it up and say, mm-hmm. What should I do? What did I do? And what can I do different? What should I improve? Things like that. So in that case, in that way, I am doing better at journaling than I have before, but I just didn't want to have to go back and read them, honestly.
Well, I only go back 1 week, and then I very seldom ever go back farther than that unless I need to find some specific thing that I wrote somewhere.
And how do you find that? Do you remember the dates?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay. Good.
It's really weird.
Because I'm trying to figure out how I would access that if I needed it.
Yeah. I have a weird access brain thing, you know.
It's like you should file them underneath a couple of little keywords or something, so you go back and find them.
That's why we use different colored pens.
Oh, I was thinking I would do it on the computer so I could access it by hitting a search key. But,
you can do that. You can do that. And
whatever works.
I can do that.
Okay, whatever works for you. But
here's the
methods.
thing: is what we're saying
Systems.
is in order to build your integrity, it is important to maintain great emotional fitness and mental fitness.
You probably at some point in your life have encountered someone in a leadership position that was lacking in one of those fitnesses, and you had to wonder why you were following them. How did they get that position? Were they interviewed properly, and did someone check them out or whatever? How did they get that position, and why am I sitting here insinuating that they are leading me, because they are not? Yeah.
I want to take a look at the last one, then I want to go to the next to the last one. Is that okay?
Sure.
Can I put moral fitness in here?
You can put it in any order you want, because they don't know the order it's in there, so we can make up our own order.
How about
See how
that?
This works?
Well,
you're in charge. You're the leader.
The reason I wanted to put this in is I thought they really went together this way: emotionally, mentally, morally. And the moral fitness is something that only you can make decisions on. That's why when I was reading the thing about the integrity, and I was reading the what it means, mm-hmm. when I came to the point, it said personal choice to help oneself to be consistent in your moral and ethical standards.
Mm. That means your moral and ethical standards are the same no matter what situation.
Yes.
Okay.
It means that you need to, as one of my mentors said, think about the things that could happen, answer them already in your mind. So when they do pop up, or if they do pop up, you are prepared.
You're ready.
You're prepared to face it. And quite frankly, I'm going to give you an opportunity to understand that this could scare the people around you. If you make quick decisions based on your moral and ethical standards, it comes easy to you because you have them ingrained, and that's the way you've lived your life. And so you've put them into practice every day. It will scare people around you.
This is where before you explode with your answer to something that's moral, ethical, you would stop and take a breath.
Yes.
I've learned to do that. People, because I process things situationally pretty quickly. Dick doesn't like it sometimes. How did you come with that fast? It just happened. I don't know. But it's pretty quick to come to sometimes moral and ethical decisions, because I know I just do. That I've learned to take a breath, and that really gives people time to think that I actually thought about it.
Well, both of us have gotten ourselves in trouble on different things because we go too quickly. And so that's why I'm cautioning this. But what I'm also saying to you is if someone asks me what my standard of life are and what my non-negotiables are, I can tell them, because there's no doubt of what I will not do and will not accept. That's just those are facts. The other things are pieces of standards that I've grown up with and I live my life by, and I've always lived by them.
And where did you learn them originally? I just came to mind. We didn't practice this.
Boy Scouts.
Boy Scouts. I'm thinking they came earlier from grandparents and parents.
Well, my
and
grandfather
reacting with cousins and things like that.
I didn't react a lot with my cousins and things, but my grandfather was really the source of wisdom in my growing up years.
Yeah. Again, we had.
And then later years, it was your grandpa.
It was my grandfather also stepped in. But my grandfather, I spent a lot of time with them when I was young, and he had some pretty basic stuff that really did stick, you know. And it's important to remember those things. Not everybody had that. We hope we're instilling that in our granddaughter. We don't know yet because she's too young to tell. But we hope we are instilling certain morals and ethics and, you know, practices and procedures, whatever you want to call it, for growing up and being a good citizen.
But as being a leader, people do what people see. People repeat what people hear. And we as leaders need to be conscious,
be careful
of that situation. That's why when we start talking about fitness, you know, many my friends are fitness, and they go to the gym and they work out and they do that. That's fitness to them. But this is more than that.
Yeah.
Okay. This is mental. This is emotional. This is moral. Now, the last one that was in this article was physical. And of course, they went into very big depths of at what age you're supposed to be doing what and how much and how long and all those kind of things.
Whoa.
and I will tell you that I don't fit into those worlds. I love being outdoors, and I like to be in the garden, and I'm bending up and down, and I'm staying busy, and I like riding my bike and kayaking and canoeing and all those kind of things.
I like hiking the mall.
Here's the thing. You really do have to take care of your body. If you've ever spent any time in a hospital, you've realized very quickly that the young ladies and young men who are taking care of you have many beds to handle. If you are not fairly physically fit, it causes a problem.
Yes, it causes several snowballing problems occasionally.
That, and I love the one doctor told me. He said, for every pound around your waist, it's like 4 foot-pounds on your knees. Think about it. And of course, I have abused my knees from being a lineman, and so I think about that all the time when I get on the scale. I go, oh no! But physically fit really means taking care of yourself. It doesn't take much to eat right. It doesn't take much to make your own meals. It just doesn't take much to really take care of yourself. But you do have to be intentional.
You have to be intentional about what you eat and how you eat and everything else. Yeah.
That's really where this thing integrity came from for me today. I started looking at all 4 of these and went, how am I doing?
It's kind of like, originally I saw this visually in my mind as a box or a circle divided into 4. But right now I'm seeing it as 4 puzzle pieces with a little blimpy thing on there that fits into the hole in the other one. 4 puzzle pieces that fit together is much more accurate, I think. So keep that in mind. I'm seeing a written thing here with pictures. Okay.
Well,
so,
I'm going to put integrity in the middle puzzle piece, but the other puzzle piece will have to fit to it.
No, it'll have to be, I was thinking it was just 4 pieces. Integrity went all over all 4 of them. But
well, you can make a round, but I got this drawing.
Don't confuse me. I have a punch that makes the 4 thing.
Well, we'll keep you posted because this is going to be good.
Look forward to that. But I'm thinking all these things work together, and they work together well. And if you are paying attention to those 4 parts of yourself, that would be a smart thing to do. So that might become a new graphic on my
one of the young ladies that I work with, she goes into very in-depth on how these 4 things, as leaders, we must be able to put into place all the time. Now, she has an exercise routine for executives at their desk, which I was very surprised at because she told me I needed to do it because I sit at my desk too much. And I said, well, I'm not an executive. She said, just do
You sit at your desk too much. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been trying them, and I'll tell you what, they seem to be working. Still not real impressed with doing the sit-ups and things, but I'm telling you, the other stuff I can do. Okay, I'm just ages and stages of what I told her. She's a lot younger than I am. Okay, let's take and go back to square one.
Okay.
When we were talking about integrity.
Is this a recap?
It really truly is.
Okay.
I want to make sure that leaders understand that integrity is the basis for all of your leadership decisions, as well for all your leadership people who are going to follow you for some reason.
Can I interject something here?
Yeah.
Also remember that if you're the leader, no matter what you're doing or how you're doing it, someone's watching.
You bet.
So don't think you get downtime from any of these intelligence, especially the emotional and the mental.
Yeah, no matter what, as leaders,
be true to what you want to be and do.
Yeah, and that's integrity. Really, is being yourself.
Being a good self, I think.
Well, I like to
being
think
the best self you can be all the time. Maybe that's a good.
Be your best self all the time.
Be your best self all the time.
Okay,
that might be profound.
Well,
we'll see.
Here again, it's being consistent.
Mm-hmm.
My grandfather always told me that, if you want to be a success, be consistent in whatever you choose. And that was always kind of, I didn't understand it back then. He was a professional carpentry man, and he could build anything out of a piece of wood. And he always said the difference between a good carpenter and a great carpenter was a great carpenter knew how to fix his mistakes. I didn't understand that until I started building things, just so you know. But I understand exactly what he means, and that's the same thing with an executive, with a leadership executive position. Knowing how to find solutions with integrity, not covering it up, not blaming someone else, not sweeping it under the rug. The integrity part would be, gang, I screwed up. Mm-hmm. We need to take how are we going to fix this? Or here's some solutions for my mess up. It's taking integrity means I'd be accountable for my actions. Integrity means I'm going to be accountable for everything I do, say, and make happen. It all goes together with the different types of fitness. I hope you're seeing that and how this really starts to work together.
Yes.
Okay. Now, the reason I brought this up is this week I was working with a brand new company, and brand new company was looking for some financial backing. And we had to really sit down and go, because we were offered some financial backing from someone who, when we did the research, did not fit our moral and ethical standards.
I hadn't heard this.
Okay, so it was very hard.
The other side of it.
It was very hard to turn down this large sum to get this business up and running. Now, fortunately, after we turned it down and we're feeling not really good about it, but we were feeling good about it because we knew we did the right thing. We did get another investor, and this investor already ponied up a building and everything else. So, by living up to the moral and ethical standards, even though at the time this was a terrible situation for this young person starting a brand new business.
Crushing.
It got turned around, I believe in my heart, because he stood by his moral and ethical standards. And that's what I'm trying to really get across. Every decision that you as a leader are going to make, you need to pass them through your moral and ethical standards. But if you don't know what they are, if you don't know where you stand, I'm going to encourage you to give us a call. Earth, Wind, Fire, Water Training Development. Give us a call, 727-422-1833, and let us help you.
Yeah, and it's not something you're going to do in a day.
No.
It's going to happen over time, and probably you just haven't thought about different aspects of that consciously. You know the answers,
Well,
but you maybe just didn't think about it consciously. So take some time.
well, I think that's, and
Start.
that's exactly what a great coach does.
Yeah.
A great coach doesn't have the answers. A great coach makes you answer yourself by asking great questions. So if you're struggling with it though, please seek out a coach, a mentor, someone to help you really know how to write them down and be able to explain them, especially your non-negotiable. Like this young man, his non-negotiable was he wasn't going to go into business or accept money from someone that didn't have the same moral and ethical standards.
Right.
It seemed crushing at the time. I think he'll do quite well now, though.
What a great guy to recognize that.
Well,
because that might not be something at one point we would have thought about.
Well, he called me. We looked at it. We did some
Research.
Investigative working, and both of us went. I told him, I said, I can't tell you to do this. I can't
recommend this.
I can't recommend you to do this at all. We need to look other places. We'll find something else. And it came about the very next day. So
that tells something.
Well, I think it does. And as leaders, I think that this is something I really want to get you through to your thought process.
That you have a thought process to begin with. Aside from that.
Well, that you're looking through opportunities, you're looking through decisions, you're through
filtering everything.
Choices, all filtered through your moral and ethical standards. That is integrity.
And I think some decisions we're making over time have probably been subconsciously filtered that way. I hope. And that now that we're more conscious of it, we'll make maybe some different or better decisions sometimes, or help other people learn to make thoughtful decisions.
The goal of today's program for me, quite honestly, was to bring this thought process to leaders so that they actually said, I really do have some moral and ethical standards that I live by. I just never thought about writing them down and being able to share them with others and in our corporation, our company, and our church, what that means.
Right. I think that's probably true for most people. And then sometimes until something really huge comes to the surface, you don't probably pay attention. It's a frog in the pot thing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And you wonder when you should have jumped.
And it really does have to do with who you work with, who you say you're son a sign on with, all the different parts and pieces.
All your experiences.
Even if you don't own your own company. Here's what I'm going to tell you. In your family decisions have to be filtered through the same things.
Absolutely.
So I see our time's running short like usual, Miss Robin. How are we doing?
We filled our time. Okay, very good.
That never crosses my mind that you won't be able to talk for half an hour.
I know, but every once in a while I surprise myself. But again, I think we should do a definition of integrity. Do you have time?
Sure.
Okay.
Integrity is the quality of being honest and having a strong moral principles and moral uprightness. It is an everyday personal choice to help oneself to be consistent, moral, and to have consistent moral and ethical standards. And today we talked about having fitness in our emotional, mental, moral, and physical piece.
They work together.
It's all good. Well, on behalf of myself, Dick Powell, and Robin Powell, we want to, and the whole Leadership Corner team, we want to say thank you for being a part of today's program. Our hope is that you've received a nugget of wisdom and guidance that will help you become a better leader. Now, if you have any questions or comments on today's program, please don't hesitate. Give us a call, 727-422-1833. Send an email, dick@ewfw.org. Go to the website, spend some time, look around, www.ewfw.org. And when you're ready to have myself or Miss Robin come and put on a seminar about personal accountability and personal leadership at your organization, again, give us a call because we book up pretty quick. Now, Robin, you got anything to finish this up before I finish this up?
No, I don't.
All right. Well, I want to say thank you for everybody calling in. And really, don't hesitate. If you've got a question, make sure you get on, and when you're ready to book us, do the same. But until next time, this is DW the Wrangler saying, ride hard, ride fast.